BattleToads is back, and it's looking a little rough. What's up, guys? It's your boy Mr.Din. First off, thank you guys for helping me reach 500 subscribers on YouTube. It's been a while since I actually did a video like this. Let's talk about some E3 stuff. We got a lot to unpack, apparently. Not a lot was announced at E3 this year in regards to beat 'em up stuff and character action games, and at least as far as I know anyway. But one of the bigger things that was announced at E3 this week was BattleToads. Well, not so much announced, but actually revealed, like as far as gameplay and everything else goes. BattleToads was actually announced last year, and that's kind of what makes this trailer that popped up recently very controversial. We haven't heard anything about the game for an entire year. It was announced at E3 last year that it was being created and worked on, and we heard nothing since. And if you guys have tuned into my streams lately, you know I was constantly talking about, where's the information on BattleToads? But yeah, as of late, we actually did see a trailer regards to the gameplay, and yeah, it's pretty controversial. So first off, if you guys haven't noticed, the dislike ratio on the reveal trailer is it's pretty bad. We're looking at like 10 to 11,000 dislikes compared to a little over 5,000 likes. So that's saying a lot about the presentation of the game. Now, my personal thoughts on the art style so far, I think the issue that people are having is that, BattleToads was originally supposed to be like this edgy answer to the Ninja Turtles. Like at the time that BattleToads came out, the Ninja Turtles that we knew about was like this cartoony, kid-friendly series. I think outside of the original comic, it was pretty much known as being that. Since then, we've seen more like gritty takes on Ninja Turtles and whatnot. But back then, you had stuff like Street Sharks. I guess you could add SWAT Cats in there. A lot of cartoons and stuff came out around that time that were trying to bank on Ninja Turtle success, and a lot of them were more serious tone, a little bit more gritty. BattleToads was kind of like the video game answer to that, and it was still cartoony and goofy and stuff like that, but it was also pretty edgy. You had blood. You had you had some stuff that Rare was known for. We know what Rare was known for back then. If you look at any of their games, like even the kid-friendly games like Banjo-Kazooie or DK64, it had some questionable stuff in there. But BattleToads was definitely along the lines of that stuff. Now, that being said, with this art style, I do feel like it leans a little bit too much on the goofy side of things, rather than having a balance. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff being said about the Dark Queen, and I'll post a picture of that on here when I'm editing. But I still I just want to let people know, we're not out here trying to bomb the trailer or anything like that, or put down the developers that are working on the game. As I said before, talking to Discord and everything, I'm still looking forward to actually playing the game. From what I've heard from people who have actually played the game so far, I haven't heard any negative things in regards to the gameplay. But I don't know how much that really says, because as I said before, with Streets of Rage 4, there's a lot of people that play that don't really know Battletoads just the same as there were people who played that didn't really know Streets of Rage like that. They just kind of have like fond memories of it. Now, me personally, I remember Battletoads from the arcade game. I never really played the NES games. I played the crossover for Double Dragon. I played Battle Maniacs on the SNES. But I don't remember, like, I haven't really played the classic Nintendo game. So maybe that was a little bit more cartoony. But, you know, the strangest thing is seeing this art style the way that it is when we've had so many cameos, too. You know, Battletoads has shown up in Shovel Knight. They've shown up in Killer Instinct. I think they've actually shown up in a couple other games, too, if I remember correctly. And all those games, like, the look and feel of Battletoads was retained within that. And I don't really feel like it's the same. The same can be said about this current iteration. But at the same time, you know, it's something that I have to get hands on. I can't really say just from looking at it that, you know, oh, this is going to be a bad game, or, you know, it's going to be a bad entry to the series. Because to be honest with you, looking at this art style, the more I think about it, you know, it could still have, you know, those things that the original games had. But, you know, it just depends on how they approach it. Because, you know, right now, looking at it, like, you know, a lot of people are saying like it looks like a Nickelodeon production. I'm kind of looking more. The more I look at it, it looks kind of like it kind of has this Adult Swim cartoon look to me, you know. And I think if they kind of play on that, and you know, add kind of like adultish undertones, you know, make it mature, make it brutal, despite, you know, having the cartoony style, I think it could pan out pretty well. But it really depends on how they approach that. And, you know, like I said, I have to get hands on it to even see how, like, the game plays so far and everything like that. You know, my main concern as far as the visual goes, you know, like I said, the art style may grow on me, but I'm actually concerned about, like, what's going on screen. Like, you know, can I actually see where I'm at? You know, do I know what I'm attacking? You know, like, look, if we look at this screenshot, for example, there's an enemy here holding a hammer, and you know, we can't really tell what's going on with the design. It's got so much stuff going on here. You got this, I think, this alien riding another alien. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not even sure what's going on here. Like, there's an alien, a unicorn, and I think this alien's riding both the alien and the unicorn, and he's holding a hammer. Like, this is just outright weird. Like, I can't even make out, like, what the hell this is. That kind of stuff is concerning to me, because you have a bunch, and you can see it in the screenshot. Like, you got 3 players playing here, and you have a bunch of these guys on screen. That's a big concern, because you can't tell what's going on. There's so much stuff going on. You cannot tell what's going on. Maybe it looks better. Maybe it looks better during the gameplay. But in this screenshot, it looks very chaotic and messy, and I'm really concerned about that. My other concern was, you know, bosses like this in the background here. You know, like I said before, if they do take more of an adultish take on this and do like you know, like I said, an Adult Swim cartoon kind of thing, you know, where it's cartoony but it's mature, like, that's cool. Like, I would like to see something like that. But, you know, when I sit there and see a boss like this, like, it's looking really furry and cutesy and stuff, that stuff's really concerning to me as well. Like, it kind of gives this tone that, like, they're not really taking this. They're just taking the goofiness a little bit too far. Like, it's getting to a point of, like, it's uncanny and awkward. And that's I mean, you know, that to me, that's not really what Battletoads was about. You know, it's more like I said, it's more like you know how cartoons were in the 90s, where like they were, like, you look at them now, they're very questionable. You're kind of like, wow, my parents let me watch this cartoon, like, compared to stuff you see now. But at the same time, like, it was something that kind of, you know, it geared towards everybody. This game looks more like it's on a Castle Crasher side, where, you know, maybe little kids will enjoy it. Like, you know, the fans might enjoy it sparsely, but they're not going to really play a lot of it. So, you know, that's like I said, that's my biggest concern so far. But, you know, it's not really a lot I can say about the game right now, because I haven't played it. I don't want to put the game down just based on the visuals. But, you know, as I said before, presentation is very important, and we see that with the trailer. You know, the trailer's dislike to like ratio it's insane. It don't even have half as many likes as it does dislikes, and that's really telling. I mean, even Streets of Rage 4, as mixed reviews as that has had in regards to like the fan community, there are people that are really into Streets of Rage 4 right now. Hopefully the same thing can be said about Battletoads. I think the biggest problem is that it took them a whole year to show us anything, and this is pretty much what we got. And people are not happy with that, you know, after having a whole year of having to wait for information. That's pretty much all I have to say in regards to Battletoads. There's a lot more stuff to talk about as far as E3 and other things that have been going on. We're talking about Poprium. Ninja Warriors once again is coming out next month. Also, I want to talk more about Streets of Rage as well. Streets of Rage 4, after having played it at PAX East and PAX South, and seeing the little gameplay from Bit Summit. Wasn't able to make it out there, but at least now I can actually talk about, you know, stuff that I saw, now that there was actually a public build that was kind of out in the open. Also, some cool stuff happening with ports as well. You know, I'm actually really happy about the Alien versus, not the Alien versus Predator, the Punisher being put on the arcade 1-up cabinet. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you for helping me reach 500 subscribers so far. Halfway to the 1K mark. Let's see if we can get a little bit further than that. But yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Beat 'em up to this. Beat 'em up. Beat 'em up. Beat 'em up to this.